Hello, my name is Dennis Dillon, and I'd like to share with you a little bit of some nuggets of wisdom that have been drawn from a book called Zen Guitar by Philip Toshio Sudo. It's really an excellent book that talks more about why we play guitar than how to play guitar. But in this little condensed version here, I've kind of adapted it as a general life philosophy or tenets to live by. Three things help guide us: intellect, instinct, and intuition. Intuition will best keep you on the path. Intellect calculates and reasons. Intellect reacts without inclusion of the mind. Intuition is akin to instinct, but transcends both rational thought and innate tendencies. It bases action not on impulse, but the insight of the unconscious mind. Those who train long enough learn to trust their intuition above all, knowing that the truth of a situation sometimes exists below the surface of things. Develop your intuition the same way you develop your other five senses. Nurture your ability to perceive what cannot be seen or heard. How we do something matters more than the end result. All we can do is perform our duties in the best way we know how. If we do things right and our spirit is correct, the results won't matter. We can hold our heads high, regardless of the outcome. You must develop a keen sense to realize when imperfection is perfection. Learn to leave well enough alone. Most of us are lucky if we qualify as experts at one thing in our lives. Expertise does not come easily. Often it does not come at all. Most people lack the will and discipline required to get good at something, literally to master one's deeds. The key to self-mastery lies in discipline. Discipline is what compels us to follow our higher nature. When we act out of self-discipline, we feel better about ourselves for having done so. The mark of true discipline comes in its consistent application. What you bring to your work, to your life and work, is the sum of what you are. Exhibit true virtue: honesty, integrity, charity, gratitude, compassion. Whenever we lose our point of focus, we can usually blame either a lack of concentration or a lack of commitment. Today we see many people jumping from job to job and relationship to relationship, starting new projects and never following through because they can't commit to anything. They wander through life looking for a better path rather than polishing their own. Give yours your undivided attention and keep your focus. Follow things through to completion before moving on. To truly know the way, it's not good enough to be good at what you do. You must go beyond. The way calls for responsibility to commit to developing proper character and truly giving of oneself. To live responsibly means to be accountable to ourselves, our action, and our charges. Many people today refuse to accept this. We see people looking to shift blame from themselves, pretend innocence, or walk away from a mess of their own making. All you need to know is one thing: where your passion lies. Knowing that one thing gives your life meaning and makes it worth getting up in the morning. Knowing one thing means to see the relationship of what we do to everything around us. The way is to know the depth of one thing, however large or small, and from that one thing know 10,000 things. That is all. The way is not through self-indulgence, but through self-awareness. Everything you do and say says something about you. How you think the way you view yourself and the world around you. Know who you are and stand for something. Learn to identify quality and appreciate anything that's well made wherever you find it. Look deeply into the spirit that goes into making an item of quality, the care, the precision, the attention to detail. Incorporate that spirit into your work. Anything you set out to make as well as you can. To do otherwise is spiritless. If you are going to do something, take care to do it right. If you are going to do something as well as it can be done, give yourself plenty of time. High quality does not come of haste. Just do it right one time, this time, right now. That's all you ever have to worry about. Do what has to be done, when it has to be done, as well as it can be done, and do it that way every time. Surround yourself with good people in every endeavor. Work with those who are professional, competent, committed to excellence, and passionate about what they do. You can learn from them and your work will benefit. You must check your path constantly and make corrections as you go. Selfishness, egotism, laziness, a single act can lead to a long detour. Failure to acknowledge these missteps can lead one far astray. Maintaining proper balance is critical in all levels of performance. One develops this sense of balance by developing a strong center. Never losing one's center means never losing balance. One's statement should exhibit balance as well. It should have integrity and honesty without being over-earnest, stay true to its own vision without being self-indulgent, and show the way without being preachy. Give something with character, content, and concision. To make a statement with character means delivering an honest, uncompromising vision that stays true to itself and succeeds or fails on its own terms. What counts is your honesty and integrity. Content means the depth of feeling one puts into the emotional resonance of the statement, inclusion of the heart's spirit. Concision means say what you have to say economically, in the fewest words possible. Make a statement only as long as it needs to be, with nothing wasted. Do not stray from the point. What you say should take no longer than is necessary. Life is a process of learning to live within limits. Say the most with the least. Like a sculptor, pare away excess until you are left with the perfect line. This demands a deep understanding of phrasing, tone, timing, and rhythm. All those things that allow you to say something just so. Speak decisively. The way to prepare yourself is to live your life with integrity. Whether living in the spotlight or alone in the woods, show true humility and grace, and you will know the way. You must have conviction. It should show the measure of your belief in what you know to be true, to the point where you would stake your life on it. Your inner fire must always show through. Your source should stem from the conviction of your soul. This is vital. We all must find the thing we stand for in this life, and if necessary, go to your death defending it. When people are not in tune with each other, they add to the disharmony of the world. The way to bring harmony from disharmony is through total resolution. When differences arise, show your compassion and do not reciprocate disrespect with disrespect. Some things we simply cannot work around. Once acquired, knowledge of these limits can be painful, shattering our dreams and aspirations. The way is to know reality, to accept what is. We cannot dwell on the unattainable. Some things simply are not in our destiny. You cannot divorce what you do from the surrounding world. You must have enough ego to have a strong sense of self, but too much ego will lead you off the path. People secure in themselves know who they are and what they can do. That is enough. Never underestimate the potential of the ego to lead one far astray. One can lose the way in an instant. The way is one of spiritual riches, not material riches. Do not trudge along your path. Your spirit shows in every step. So many of the things we do in life, we do half-heartedly. We can show up and not be there at all. Be present at all times, in the moment. If your feet are dragging, check your path. You are probably on the wrong one. To move down the path, you must commit your heart. The only way to do this is to love it. If it isn't fun for you, then something is seriously wrong. Somewhere in you there are words that you can get behind with your whole heart and soul. Words that say, "This is who I am and this is what I believe." If your spirit is too strong, you have yet to master yourself. The measure of mastery is not through what you show, but in what you hold back. Self-control is the key. Apply this to your thinking and your life. The way is through restraint. We must learn to accept our place with humility and grace, not smugness or jealousy. The only opponent is within. From one thing, learn 10,000 things means to extrapolate from the specific to the universal, to see the broad truth in a single action. To speak the truth, you must already have the correct attitude. The challenge is one of spirit. The intensity of your effort should be the same as though you were shouting from your gut at the waves crashing ashore. Martial arts calls this kind of shout katsu. Katsu is the roar of a person that knows what it is to be alive. And this again is not my own, but it comes from a really good book by Philip Toshio Sudo called Zen Guitar, and I edited it to apply to a more universal application. But I must give credit where credit's due, and most of this, with the exception of a few things that I added and edited in, come from Philip's book, Zen Guitar, which I highly recommend for musicians and non-musicians alike. Thank you, and this is Dennis Dillon sharing some nuggets of wisdom from Zen Guitar by Philip Toshio Sudo.